All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the TheWRant. I am so happy to be back. You guys have no idea. This has been a long time coming. I've really wanted to make a return for a long time now. Graduate in December. The new title, Black Ops 3, coming out. COD World League was announced. There's just so much stuff going on in Call of Duty for the next title that I can't wait to get back involved with everybody. Hopefully I can be as involved as I was in the past. I got some plans that are brewing in the background. Hopefully they come to fruition. We will see, though. So, just to update you guys on a few things. It's going to be a little different TheWRant than you guys are used to. At the core of the TheWRant at the core, it's a forum for people in the community to come on the show to air their personal opinions on certain things that are going on within the community, right? So back in the day, yeah, it was pretty dramatific, right? I mean, it was pretty crazy. I roasted a lot of companies. I ridded this community of a lot of companies that were frauding it as well at the same time. So I'm trying to turn it into more of it's still going to be entertainment based, but I also want to educate the mass on the business centric idea of esports. So I think a lot of people are uneducated about it. They don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, and I want to enlighten that and try to let people understand how things are actually working and what's going on. So I got my co-host here. We got Mr. Max Mallow. Max.
What's going on, Jared?
Max works over at MLG, actually. I'm not really sure. What is your title at MLG?
Writer.
Writer?
So, yeah, writer slash producer slash on-screen talent sometimes. Basically, I help write the ESR. Any shows you see on there with like Benson, Puckett, Rocket League I help do. Basically a little jack of all trades.
So we got the jack of all trades as the co-host, and then tonight's guest is Big Snacks, the man owner of Team Justice. He's the creator of Yoush YouTube gaming channel, and he's also, I saw something else. What do you got? What's the third thing you got going on over there?
Third thing is a secret right now.
What? Then why is it in your Twitter bio? You can't have a secret in your Twitter bio. Come on, man.
Nah,
But
man. You talking about the line source stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, that's my second YouTube network.
All right, all right. But yeah, I got Big Snacks on here because he is an owner of a team within the COD community. He's been around gaming for a very long time. He has a YouTube channel. I've known him for a while. I love his opinions and his ideas in the community. So I asked him to come on, and he was willing to come on. Merc Envy is actually at a dinner right now. He said if he gets back in time, he'll be willing to come on to give his point of view on some of the things we're going to be talking about tonight. So tonight's main topics are going to be about the current state of Call of Duty, where it's at, what's going on with it, viewership-wise, the growth rate of it, what happened during AW, why is it where it's at. We're also going to talk about the Call of Duty World League because that is a big announcement. Finally, Activision is stepping in. That's something I preached like 2 years ago, 3 years ago before I stepped back from esports. I said it almost every show that we needed more developer support, and it looks like Activision is finally stepping in with more money and more support with the World League. So that's going to be really exciting. I can't wait to see what happens with that as far as who's involved and what's going to happen to various event organizers within the Call of Duty community as well. So let's just get this started. I still have the Twitter feed on the right there, guys. So if you have a question for either myself, Big Snacks, or Max, go ahead and hit hashtag the TheWRant on Twitter, ask your question. If it's a serious question that I deem, well enough to ask, then I will ask it. I'm not going to deal with a lot of the bullshit that I dealt with back in the day on the TheWRant. For your information, I do have preview images turned off, so if you try to send any dicks or anything like that, like people have in the past, they won't show up on the Twitter feed. Just, food for thought. But let's get right into where COD is at right now. Now, I was obviously out of the scene for the past year and a half. I left kind of midway into Call of Duty Ghosts to focus on school and work and other things that I had going on. But I was completely out of it during AW. I did stay in tune with most of the people that I talked with and tried to keep up to date on things. But what happened during AW? I mean, we clearly saw a viewer downfall. It was kind of the first full year on MLG.TV platform as well. Coming from you, Big Snacks, what do you think happened during AW?
I got a 2-year-old screaming. Hey,
Oh,
bro,
man.
come here. I'm here.
Bring her on camera. Bring her on camera.
That's my son. He's crying.
Bring him on camera.
Stop. Chill. See the people? Look. They see you crying. So stop crying, okay? Say hi. Okay. Now, I'll let you play in a little while, okay? Let me do this first. Go with Kenzie. COD right now. What happened during AW was the question, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. The game didn't die. The game was supported tremendously by MLG and UMG, who's always played a big role in what we do in Call of Duty. I think just a lot of people didn't grasp the aspect of guys flying around or the players. The players like the game. The players gonna play the game. But it's the overall effect of what it has on the community when players and people are popular that are on YouTube and start doing rants and things they don't like and a bunch of complaining about the game, and it draws the viewership down. Some people don't think that their actions affect what goes on outside of our realm of Call of Duty esports. You know, when players start complaining and people that are popular on YouTube start complaining about the game, it reaches a broad spectrum of people, and then it turns them off. You know, they'll come to see what the game is all about. They'll watch for a little while, but then they'll turn the game off. You know, they'll turn the stream off, or they'll go watch something else because they've heard the same people complain over and over and over and over again about how they don't like Call of Duty. But overall, Call of Duty's good. We're in a good place.
I mean, but over the years, I mean, you can say that the complaining part has, you know, a dampening effect on viewership, but over the years, the players have always complained about something within the game. I mean, that's always been there. Was it just an AW? It was more prevalent than it has been in the past, so there was just a lot more complaining than we've seen over the years. Because, I mean, during the beginning of Ghost, the complaints came in, you know, every minute of every day, it seemed like. So, I mean, with AW, I mean, me, myself, watching Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, it was just I've played Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4. I've been involved with it. I've loved playing it. I even loved playing Ghost, really personally, pubs and stuff like that. But when it came to Advanced Warfare, I did not enjoy playing the game myself. I just didn't like playing it.
But you hated it.
I absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
And even watching it, I couldn't even watch it. Even being an avid Call of Duty fan, I couldn't watch it because I really couldn't focus on what was going on within the game. It just seemed way too sporadic to me. And this is coming from someone that's played competitive since Call of Duty 4, that's been in the competitive scene, that knows what goes on within these matches, and I still didn't enjoy watching it. So I think that was a really big part of it. The complaining has always been there. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. I'm sure for Black Ops 3, there's going to be complaining again. I mean, there's always going to be those complaints. And yes, they were more prevalent during Advanced Warfare, as you clearly stated, but it was really the gameplay for me. And another issue for me with Advanced Warfare was also the introduction of the supply drop. Just because that's great that you're introducing new weapons, but it would have been something to where they introduced the weapons with different gun stats on them. So you couldn't really have a good public experience with the game unless you spent money on their supply drops to get the proper statted weapons. And I understand, you know, you're trying to make money as a company, but they totally ruined the replay value of pubs by adding in different statted weapons. That was my main thing because even when I tried to come back to it and play it, when I decided to bring the TheWRant back, I was like, all right, I got to get back into this. I need to start playing the video game again. I need to start diving back into the Call of Duty world. And I played 2 matches, and I was like, all right, I'm getting off. I mean, you're getting lit up by guns that, you know, elite status and all that other crap that was going on. So that's my personal opinion. Max, what did you think about Advanced Warfare?
I mean, personally, I enjoy playing the game.
You would enjoy playing the game.
I can specifically recall 2 weeks when the game came out, we played, and we were playing ranked play or whatever, and like you got killed and you quit out of the game, and you're like, I'm getting off. And I was like,
I
I've never
couldn't,
like,
yeah, I couldn't take it, man. The game was
um,
bullshit.
but like in terms of if I'm gonna compare it to Ghosts, I like it way more than Ghosts. Um, Supply drops, I get it, trying to capitalize on the whole idea of CS:GO, weapon crates and different camos and everything, which was cool. Um, but again, like you still get those, like when you get killed by an ASM1 speakeasy or a gun that you don't have because you don't want to put money into the game. I mean, as far as like the gameplay is concerned, I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, like Call of Duty is Call of Duty. You're going to go through that
Call
typical
of
phase
Duty's
where
no, this Call of Duty was not Call of Duty. Okay, the introduction of exosuits was not Call of Duty. It was something new they were trying,
no,
and
but
it didn't work out.
The game was fine. The game is fine.
No, I don't. I mean,
The
you know,
game is fine.
I'll play devil's advocate in
I
every
think the game
situation.
was a little bit too fast for everybody. That's I don't I love Call of Duty. I'm a Call of Duty freak. I'll play the game.
Oh, I'm a
'Cause
Call
I
of Duty
like
freak too.
I
I
like
even tried
I
to
like
play
to
the
shoot
game.
people and watch them die and press X to respawn when I die.
All right,
Real
well,
life, you
okay.
don't, real life, you don't get that chance.
Don't take
But
that out of context. Yeah, okay, all right, you mentioned that. Okay.
but in doing this, okay, MLG, when you play commercials, I need for them to stay muted. But when playing this game, I enjoy it I enjoy it because it's Call of Duty. So I try, and me, I'm an optimist, so I try to get the fun out of everything I do. I try to enjoy it, and I know it's some bad spots in every game, and I'm a complainer myself. When I shoot people, they should die. But the game overall, I enjoy it. Even the jumping around, the flying around the building, I like that different aspect. But what they should have done was put those jetpacks in a different playlist, just like they did. Because you can play this game without exosuits, but because of the buildings and all the high terrain, it kind of makes these maps unplayable without jetpacks.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the game overall is pretty much enjoyable. I know, Jared, you hate the game. I played with you a bunch of times.
Yeah, we played a couple times. I was like, oh, I gotta get off. I can't do
Never
this
gonna
anymore.
convince you that this game is a good game. So,
I mean, that's my. I mean, everyone has their own personal opinion. I'm a person that's more willing to, make my opinion public than most people. But I mean, so I also want to talk about the whole supply drops with the team exosuits, right? So I thought it was great when I first heard. I was like, awesome! Denial is getting finally a team within Call of Duty is getting, exosuits. They're getting, they're getting in-game accessories for the game, and I was like, this is awesome. And then I heard that the only way you could get it was through buying the supply drops. Like you had to randomly get the exosuits through supply drops. Now, that is a flawed concept to me. Because one thing, Activision and Sledgehammer, they were probably using that as a test run to see how much can be generated from introducing...
No, I would say the COD Champs camo that came out before the event was the test run.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I thought you were talking about just the denial thing.
No, yeah. Well, and
yeah.
the denial thing. The denial
thing... Denial was the COD Champs.
Yeah, the denial was the COD Champs one, and then Optic came after that.
No, I meant they had the COD Champs camo, the COD Champs exosuit before the event,
right.
A month before the event came out.
Right, and then they did the denial.
Okay. But anyways, so denial was the test run to see how much they can actually generate from a team in-game accessory, right? So if you're going to do that, why have it to where you have to buy 5 supply drops at a time? Why not just have it as an individual item within the Call of Duty shop to where you can just go buy the exosuit? Because I wonder, I mean, obviously I don't have the numbers on any of this, but I could only assume that there were people that wanted the exosuit but didn't want to buy the supply drops, so they didn't buy the supply drops. I mean, I
Right.
know
And
because I know I myself, I would have went in and bought the denial thing, even though I don't even play the damn game and I've been gone for a year. But I would have went in and bought it because I want to support the Call of Duty esports scene. But if I have to buy 5 supply drops to hopefully randomly get it, and if you don't, then you got to buy 5 more.
and
So
that was the problem. They were random. You just couldn't buy them. And I think in this upcoming edition, Black Ops 3, I think they're not going to be random. They're not going to be supply drops, I don't think. So I think when they add stuff to this game, you'll just be able to go in the store and purchase it, even if it's a team camo or a team hat or things of that nature. You'll just be able to go buy what you want, and that be the end of it, which is what they should have done with this.
yeah.
If you truly wanted to test the market and see what will people buy, then you just put it in there wholesale and let people go in there and get it. This
Hmm.
way, you don't know if people are buying. You don't know in this game if people are buying supply drops searching for that, or they're buying supply drops searching for guns. There's no way to distinguish from the two.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean,
I think that's the way it should be done. You just be able to go purchase whatever you want.
it was also strange because the COD champs one before the event. That one was you had to purchase that outside of the game, like outside of supply drops. That was just a flat $5, I think it was. And then they put the denial gear into supply drops. They put the optic gear into supply drops. I mean, like if you think about it compared to CS:GO, like you can like the only thing different here is like there's the community marketplace where people can list up the items that they open in cases for you to buy. So like unless there was really a community marketplace on Xbox for people to do that, keeping them just in supply drops was a pretty bad idea.
Right, right. And granted, the optic stuff you didn't have to buy; they were randomly given out
Right.
during the game. So that I understand. You get those through supply drops since you couldn't purchase. But anything that you can purchase in the game, you should be able to purchase directly, not by buying a random supply drop and you might not get what you're looking
Exactly. But anyways, guys, Neslo actually wants to come on, so I'm taking the Skype window down real quick so that I can add him on Skype and get him in the call. So that's the why the black screen will be there briefly. But we talked about the supply drop. So now I want to talk about, I mean, with where the viewership is now, I mean, when I was watching the last event, I mean, we were at around, 40,000 to 50,000 and then maybe peak at like 95,000 on championship weekend on the grand final day. I mean, so with that viewership, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Black Ops 3 will honestly be enough to catapult our viewership back to where it was 2 years ago? I mean, it seems like we've constantly been diminishing viewership. Is Black Ops 3 and the Call of Duty World League going to be enough to put Call of Duty on the global map for esports?
for. It depends on where it's broadcast.
Okay, so all
And
right, that's something else. All right, I'll let you speak.
yeah, it depends on where it's broadcast. And for ML, if it's not restricted to MLG, I think we'll go through the roof because now we have developer support and all the things that matter in growing an esports scene. But if it's restricted to MLG, we're going to be in trouble because everybody in the world doesn't like MLG. You can't find MLG. Most of the viewership that watches esports are on Twitch, no matter if they're random watchers or not. If you're on Twitch, more than likely, if you're holding a esport competition, you're going to be on the front page, so people can randomly drop by and watch it. That's what makes it better. Twitch just overall has more traffic, which makes it a better place to host your events. I don't care
Okay.
if they host them on both.
Yeah, I actually I've got a little infographic about the data on stream sites. So this is a little infographic. It came out in May 2015. Anybody can go get it. It's on superdataresearch.com. It's a free download. There's a bunch of analytics out nowadays on esports, pretty much on everything because esports has been growing. But this right here is a little pie chart that shows the market share of each streaming site, right? So I mean, clearly you got Twitch TV at the top at 36%, which I'm sure it's more now, even less than 6 months later. So you got Twitch TV, and then you got ESL TV and MLG.TV Hitbox all down there at the bottom at around 7% of the market share. Now, there's also another graphic here that shows the top viewed franchises in esports in the United States. Now, I always thought this was, weird because we see the viewership for League of Legends and all that stuff, and we don't really see where the demographics are in a stream number. We don't know where it's coming from. But this research here shows that Call of Duty is actually the top viewed franchise in esports in America, in the United States. So, I mean, because within America, the most viewed genres are first-person shooters. So Call of Duty being the biggest first-person video game, arguably, it is the most viewed franchise in the United States. Now, that is obviously skewed because we see the numbers for League of Legends and everything like that. I mean, even Halo's at 8% right under League of Legends. So, I mean, it's just... the numbers for Call of Duty within America are good, but it's abroad that they are lacking. So that's why it's great that this World League is going to try to bring in more of the international viewer than just the American viewer. So I don't know if you guys could see that. I know I sent them to Max, but I don't...
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. But yeah, so guys, this data is out there. Like the new type of TheWRant is going to be about bringing people on and talking about their personal opinions and everything on stuff, but I'm also going to be showing numbers that back up the claims I make or my guests make. So it doesn't seem like we're just talking out our asses. We actually have data behind us that are backing up the claims. So Big Snats was talking about, it would be great if Call of Duty isn't just locally on MLG.TV, and I am one to agree with him. I've always been one. Don't get me wrong, I love MLG. MLG's done a lot of good for Call of Duty, but they've also done some bad things. And in my personal opinion, one of the bad things was localizing everything on MLG.TV when it wasn't an established streaming site. There's no organic growth at MLG.TV in my opinion. And if we were on Twitch, viewers would be a lot different. I mean, Max, I know you work at MLG. You might not want to. I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
I mean, make I'm a wrestling fan. Like, make like a wrestling comparison. Like, I don't know if any of you guys know like pro wrestling, like Monday Night Wars, like WWE versus like WCW. Like having now, if you look at it, like WWE having it like only on being the only source of it is like. It's hard because there's no competition. Like, when there's no competition, how do you better yourself, And
Right.
having, if you look at it, Call of Duty on Twitch right now, I mean, it's pretty much nothing. Like, you have,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, everybody is on MLG.TV.
Right, but I'm saying, not everybody. Like, you still have others.
So the core group, though, I mean, the core group that drives the traffic to the Call of Duty channel are not there.
Right.
I mean, the nade shots, the karmas, I mean, the whole pro scene.
Right. Well, I mean, I actually want to talk about Nate Shot later. But events there was a DreamHack event that was streamed on Twitch, I believe. I'm not sure how well the event did, but there is a Call of Duty, not community, but there's a small amount of it's not anything, really on Twitch.
Well, I mean,
As
but
of
yeah.
now.
Well, yeah, as of now. But I mean, that's because all of the major events are streamed on MLG.TV, as long with all the players that are playing in MLG events have to stream on MLG.TV.
Right.
Well, actually, that DreamHack event, it was streamed on Twitch and MLG TV.
Yeah.
And I think I checked both days, and I think I remember MLG having 25,000 people watching, and Twitch having around 19 or 20,000 people watching on Twitch. And nothing major is ever broadcasted on Twitch, period. And they still have about the same amount of traffic.
I mean, I think I can make the argument that DreamHack isn't really a major Call of Duty event.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'm saying without any work, without any effort
Yeah.
being put forth on anybody's part to let people know that it was being broadcasted on Twitch, it still done those numbers. Everybody knew that it was going to be broadcasted on MLG. But with no work and no effort being put forth by anybody saying that, look, we're broadcasting on Twitch also, you're still hitting 20K. And that's with no work.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
what does
it's
that
just
say?
the numbers are with Twitch. I mean, they are. Unfortunately, or not unfortunately. I mean, we all have our own opinions on it. I personally hope Call of Duty makes a transition back to Twitch with the new title coming out, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. There's a lot of rumors flying around out there. We don't know what's going on. We don't know who Activision's. We don't know the official event organizer Activision's going to use for their World League and what's going on with all that. We just know the basic information. The age is going to be 18 plus, which is awesome. I totally agree with that. And basically the amount of teams that are going to be in each region, and that's about all we really know. We don't really know much more than that right now.
I mean, the one thing I'll say, like, do you think, I guess, like right now, I'm not going to put Nate in the conversation because Nate isn't, like, he's not competing anymore. Like, do you think, like, Scump, Karma, I mean, Clay, I guess, do you think all these people can, like, still, like, compete with, like, your Bjergsons or your, like, Pashas or any of, like, your top Hearthstone, Dota, or Counter-Strike or League players?
I think so. On Twitch, yeah, I think so.
But it's not, I mean...
If I remember correctly, Nate was popping 20, 30K on Twitch. He's not even doing those numbers on MLG.
Well,
nowhere near.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing half that, if that. But also, when I was coming back watching Clayster is one of the biggest names in Advanced Warfare right now. Like he's one of the bigger named competitive players.
He is. In my opinion, he is probably the biggest name.
Yeah. So right, and he's barely pushing 500 viewers on MLG.TV, being one of the biggest Call of Duty players there is during this title, and he's struggling to get 500 viewers. Now I remember watching him on Twitch a year earlier than this, and he was easily breaking 1,000. So I mean, it's not just about going up against those other streamers, but it's also about once those streamers go down, where their viewers go. And what happens there is with the organic growth that Twitch does offer, when streamers go down, they still want some content. So when Call of Duty is on the top tier, top list, or second list below that, they're on the homepage. You're going there, you're clicking on Call of Duty, you're going to start viewing those people. So it's a place to where you can grow your fan base a lot easier than on MLG.TV. And that's the argument I'm making. I mean, Neslo, right. You're a player, you're a streamer. What do you think?
Yeah, what's good? Am I working?
Yeah, it's good, man. What's up?
I just been watching the stream for like 10-20 minutes. It's difficult. MLG's like, it's a niche, man. I hope we go back to Twitch. It's something that, it's like your global gaming viewer is gonna go to Twitch, not MLG. MLG is for competitive only. Like, there's not many entertainers on MLG.TV that are doing really well. I really think the only exception I can say that's doing well is Rice Gum. But I don't know. It's just there's a broader spectrum on Twitch where it publicizes your own brand a lot better. Like, one thing that really concerned me was how Denial won Worlds, or they won Champs, and I go back and I see replays having like 30 viewers with like 9 subs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this fool's a world champion. Like this, yeah. He won the biggest tournament of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about like the hype around everything and the branding behind players and how things are working. And like it's not MLG's fault. MLG is so much smaller than Twitch when it comes to a streaming platform. And I don't think people understand how big Twitch was. And back in the MW3 days, Fizzerp on Twitch, he was getting 5K viewers, 3K viewers playing S&D tournaments.
Yeah.
And
Rage Charge days.
Yeah, and Nate, like Rick said, Nate came over to MLG and his viewership drastically went down. And that's something that Twitch has it's not like your fans are always gonna watch you no matter what. Whether you're MLG or Twitch, your hardcore fans, the ones that look at your Twitter all day, every day, the diehard fans, they're always gonna be there in your streams watching you because they're a fan of you. But when it
But you
comes
want
to
that growth. You
yes,
want the
when you come
growth from the
yeah, when
random
it
people.
comes yes, when it comes to you have to open your audience, you got to promote yourself so more people follow you, more people watch your stream. That's what Twitch gives you, and MLG doesn't really give you the option for that. The only people watching your MLG stream are the people that follow you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like on Twitch, someone can stumble upon you. You can get the front page. If your stream's doing really well, you're playing a really hyped online tournament. Guess what? You're gonna be on that front page. Every single random viewer that's on Twitch right now trying to find something to watch goes there. And I'm saying this as a pro. I go on Twitch to watch random streams. I'm not talking about like a 5 to 10 viewership stream. I'm talking about CS pros, League of Legends pros. Like I'll literally just roam Twitch once in a while if I'm really that bored. And
Yeah.
like you're not gonna go to MLG and look for streams to watch. Like it's just not what it's about. It's too can't think of the word I'm looking for. It's just too specific and it's too small. And I really do hope we go back to Twitch though.
Yeah, I mean that is the rumor that's going around. I mean, there's obviously a lot of rumors revolving around the announcement of the Call of Duty World League, but that is one of the rumors that it might be going back to Twitch. And I mean, what does that mean for companies like MLG and stuff like that? So, I mean, the next year, I mean, the landscape of Call of Duty could change pretty drastically for companies that are involved in it right now. So that would be really interesting
I
to
like
see what happens, and it's a good time for me to get back involved because there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about.
100%. Like everything could change. Like MLG could just go back to being tournament organizers, and if that's
MLG is
true,
MLG is not going to suffer from
yeah,
not being the
The sole,
publisher or the
right?
sole provider of Call of Duty. They're not going to
Yeah.
suffer. They have their hands in a ton of other pots.
Oh yeah.
You know that's why they're reaching into Dota again.
Yeah.
Going,
Sivo.
bringing up Rocket League, got SIVO.
that's
So
why I was shocked that
they're-
they got the exclusivity to COD in the first place.
well, because they
what was the
tried
point?
something.
I mean, if you think
Like-
about it, like Black Ops, like so MW3, like everyone was sitting around begging like MLG pick up the game. MLG, like we're dead without MLG, and like we got by with EGLs and UMGs, but once Black Ops 2 was on the circuit, like that was like the largest growth we saw ever. And I mean, and MLG's a huge.
I mean, you got to
Yeah,
think about it like
no.
this. If this all happens, right? Like, let's say MLG loses exclusivity. Other tournament organizers, leagues are gonna come in. Activision's gonna make their league or whatever. Like, you got to think about it. Back in the days, like we talk about this all the time. Like my team, we enjoy the glory days back in Black Ops 2, and like even before that, because I haven't played that long. Sharp is always talking about it. Like there were so many tournaments that people loved playing, like 360 Icons tournaments, man.
Oh, dude.
Everyone
Those are the
everyone played that
days.
shit. People would get
Yeah.
on at noon and play till 3 a.m. to win $20 fucking.
Dude, back in COD 4, back in COD 4 those days, my team, we would get up literally 8 a.m. Me and a teammate of mine, we'd play doubles for like 5 hours, and then we'd
Yeah.
play S&D the rest of the day, and then we'd literally do
bringing-
that every day. We loved
Yeah.
playing Call of Duty back then.
And
I
that
just
shit's
think it's
Bringing
totally
Paul out
changed.
of retirement. I'm telling you, when Black Ops 3 dropped, we bringing Paul out of retirement.
And, like,
360
that's-
Icons is coming back,
We
baby.
talk about
Oh,
LAN
no.
tournaments. Like there's only so many huge tournaments that cost companies, I don't know, maybe millions to run, but it comes down to like online. I mean, most of Call of Duty's online, the community's online. We talked about how Advanced Warfare literally killed the search and destroy community and the game battles community with the rule set, the game, MLG, literally killed an entire community. And it's insane.
Yeah.
Like the S&D community, I mentioned Fizzer when he was streaming on Twitch, like it was a huge part of Call of Duty, and online interaction and viewership is Call of Duty.
I mean, Call of Duty. I mean, S&D was Call of Duty, especially during the COD 4 days. It wasn't until MLG actually brought the pro circuit at the end of Call of Duty, and they introduced the variant gameplay, which I mean was what Halo was doing at the time and stuff like that. So maybe that's where it came from. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions right now.
And something is wrong when you see all these S&D players going to fucking variant.
Yeah. Well, I mean the competitive community in Call of Duty 4 was the S&D community. That was the competitive community. And then when they were forced to play variant towards the end because that was really the only thing that was worth playing. So I remember a lot of players actually dropped off the map during that transition back in the day. So, but yeah, I mean, I actually tweeted out like a couple weeks ago. I was like, I sometimes think about like what would Call of Duty be at if we only stuck to search and destroy and we never went to variant. I mean, I think it would have been interesting because
That'd be fucking awesome,
there's
dude.
so much hype and just tension, and you're on the edge of your seat during
Pressure
search and destroy.
situations.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it creates so much good content that it's awesome. And when it comes to like domination and you got uplink and stuff like that. I mean, uplink, yeah, I guess people agreed it's entertaining now. But when you add those game types into it that are confusing to new time viewers, it's kind of hard to retain a viewer that doesn't care to spend a whole day trying to understand a game type. I mean, search and destroy is very simple. You're trying to, get to the bomb site, plant it, defuse it, kill the other team. I mean, that's rather simple.
The
But
reason the reason why I wanted to hop in here is I was watching the stream. I just turned it on. You guys were talking about like AW. You're asking like, did you enjoy playing this game?
yeah,
mean,
I was gonna go back to that actually in a little
yeah.
bit. But yeah, we
Um,
can talk about it now if you want. I mean, did you enjoy
it's
AW?
dude, it's like Brandon said today in the 2K. It's stale, and it's stale for many reasons that doesn't even have to do with the game necessarily. Like, when did I play a Call of Duty where I enter a 2K or 5K and I'm in quarterfinals or semifinals round one? Like the
Oh
amount of
wow.
teams, the amount of teams signing up for these tournaments, like S&D tournaments used to get 50, 60 teams, high payouts all night. They're closing a lot of the tournaments. There's 7, 8 teams per tournament. So there's a lot less people playing this game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had noticed MLG dropping prices for team passes, dropping prices for
Yep.
spectator tickets. So I mean, they're trying to fill New Orleans right now as well for Call of Duty. I don't even
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
if it's sold out. I mean, I also saw what when's the
I
last
got I
time?
got a feeling because this is truly their last COD tournament. That's what I'm thinking.
I
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
thinking
I
too.
mean, but when's the
This
last
tournament
time?
was put together so fast. It was put together without thought, without dates and times and all that. This tournament was just picked on a whim because they got information that we're not getting. And I truly feel that this is the last Call of Duty tournament that MLG is going to host, being that it's the 100th tournament. And they're trying to make it as big as it is with all the other games and stuff. But I truly and honestly feel like this is the last
I
Call of
can
Duty
see them.
tournament.
I can see them hosting invitations next year, just like in the arena, just like they do for CS:GO now. I could see them doing it.
Oh, they got to do something with the arena. That can't just be a sunk
Yeah.
cost.
Well, they got Sivo
They
and
got
Rocket
yeah,
League.
they got Siva.
They have other games, but I'm
Enjoy
feeling
Dota.
yeah,
Yeah.
the way this tournament was put together, it feels like this is their exit from Call of Duty for right now. And so they want to go out with a bang.
But AW, it's this was the first game where people don't understand. We didn't really go all Banhor in it, and people don't give like not the player. I wouldn't say well you got to give the players respect for playing with these shitty things in the game. Like that's stupid. But like we came to the whole gentleman's agreement. We didn't even ban things. We just try to keep it on the low, kept it off Twitter. A lot of things players agreed not to use. Like the game is fun. I actually enjoy playing this game sometimes. Like I could sit here, chill, talk to someone on Skype, and play, and be like, all right, this is entertaining me. I'm not that bored.
I can't do that.
But the game itself is just so uncompetitive, and it has so many aspects and things that aren't in a competitive title. And the best thing I can say is it's Call of Duty, and the best play I can make when I see someone is to hit my bumper and throw a stun grenade at them and blow it up in their face. And like, what the fuck am I playing? And the only counter to that is so you could see me on the mini map permanently. Like, what kind of fucking counter is that? So there's a lot of things within the game, the limitless jumping and the boosting that just it makes the game really random and it makes it way too fast and unstructured, and that's just not what Call of Duty's been for the last 5 years.
It's a very
But
fast game.
but when people say like they hate the game, I fucking hated Ghost. That game was
Yeah.
garbage. Like that game killed a lot of public Call of Duty fans. I'm not even talking about competitive fans in general. You want to
Yeah.
talk about Call of Duty as a franchise? You know how many fucking people who played Ghost don't want to play Call of Duty anymore?
And then those same people who saw like Advanced Warfare be like, "What the fuck, jetpacks? Like, I'm not even gonna play this game
Yeah.
anyway."
But for like, I mean, you got to give them credit for like reaching out and doing something different. I think honestly, people like this game more than they thought they did. when it comes to them
Mhm.
doing something different the first 6 months of the game. We're in that cycle where everyone's gonna sit here and bitch about the Call of Duty because
Oh,
we've been
dude.
playing for 10 months.
I'm sure someone in the chat has the image saved on their computer
Yeah, the site,
of
dude, the cycle.
the COD cycle. Everyone has it. I mean,
Everyone has
Uh,
that. Yeah, this game's amazing. Oh
But-
man, this game sucks. Oh, remember how good the last Call of Duty was? Let's go play the last Call of Duty.
yeah.
Oh wait, the new one's coming out. That one's gonna be the best one ever.
I'm pretty good to be put in this conversation to be real because I was on a team for a really good portion of Ghost and a really good portion of Black Ops 2. We were top four. We were looking really good, and we were on a whole nother level with a group of teams. And in this game, it just hasn't been the same due to like almost like the discipline you're required to as a player and the fundamentals. Like the fundamentals of Call of Duty, if you ask any pro player, has completely changed just for this game. When it comes to like if you said, yo, I'm gonna spawn up and double dash forward and overextend every life in any other Call of Duty, you're gonna be look like a fucking idiot. You know, you team with Rambo or anybody like that, they'll toast you. They'll roast you to the end of time. In this game, you're taught to do that. You're taught to break rules. You're taught to take shortcuts. And I'm not gonna make like excuses for my team. Like we still haven't played the game enough, and there's a lot of reasons why TK struggled all year.
You still haven't played the game enough. The new titles come out in like a month, bro. So
Dude,
I mean, I guess.
oh no, like we're just focusing on Worlds, and then obviously we're done with this game. But there's just certain players in this game that they don't have the discipline other players usually have. The winning players or the players on top, and they shined in it in this game. And they're not going to be bad at other Call of Duties or the new Call of Duty because Black Ops 3 is going to be a whole nother animal as well. Maybe the fundamentals aren't exactly the same as every other game. But I know Treyarch and how Treyarch makes their games. I played the shit out of the beta, and it's going to be a lot slower.
Yeah, I mean, I like the jetpack thing in the new game just because
It's
there's a limit
balanced.
to it. There's a
Yeah.
limit
Yeah.
to it, and
Until
that's what's
people-
good about it.
Until somebody runs completely around the map on the wall and kills somebody in S&D, that's when it's gonna go down.
That's honestly,
That's kind of
but
overpowered,
it's not easy to kill someone running on the walls. Like
Or
it really
jumping.
isn't. Yeah.
Like,
So I
you-
mean, if they
the
do
shot-
that, if
Like,
you
your shot is off.
if you get killed by someone running along the walls, especially in like the pro league, like the at that echelon of Call of Duty, then you just got shit on basically. Like you can't say anything about that because that takes some skill to do that stuff. But I mean, as far as Black Ops 3 coming out, do you think it's gonna be able to revive Call of Duty along with the Call of Duty World League? Do you think we'll start seeing events with 2, 3, 4, maybe 500,000 viewers again?
Dude, I think, like, to be honest, this is Call of Duty's year, or it's gonna fucking die. Like,
Yeah.
straight up,
I've
it's
said that.
it's a hit or miss. It's a home run, or you're
Yeah.
striking out. And I'm a player, so I want to think positive about all
Yeah.
this when it comes to the business side of things, tournament holders, the World League, all of this stuff. I think it's got a lot of potential. I wouldn't be playing competitively today and taking this as my job if I didn't see the potential in the scene. I would go to somewhere else. But I think it's gonna blow up, man. I think Vaughn really does like us. I think Vaughn wants to see his game succeed on multiple platforms, not just publicly, also competitively.
No, I
And
mean,
they did a lot for us.
each Black
Right.
Ops title has helped to catapult the Call of Duty scene in one way
Black
or
Ops
another.
1 started, if you think about it.
Well, yeah,
Black
Black Ops
Ops
1 did
started
start
a
it.
lot.
Black Ops 1 did start it, basically.
Right.
Um,
Like I said, this game all depends on where it's broadcast.
swinging for the fences on this one.
Like this
Black
is
Ops
this
1
is the
was so
thing.
good.
Like, another thing is why we talk about AW being stale. Brandon made a good point today. What if we had a league back in Black Ops 2 for matches to go to LAN tournaments? What if we had proper seedings and played league matches instead of
Yeah.
sitting here scrimming all fucking day? Like I think Black Ops 3 is gonna have a lot of reasons for a player to sit down and play the game. It's not just gonna be like, all right, we're gonna practice for a month and go to this tournament. There's going to be a lot of different things you're going to be able to do with the game. There's going to be, if MLG doesn't have exclusivity or they give it up, it might get to the point where it's almost like CS. We're playing in a different kind of league online like every week. And that's something that just motivates a player when you're playing for that kind of money, when you're playing for that intensity, than sitting
might
here
change, though.
screaming, forcing
That might change.
yourself.
That might change in CS though because this whole new players union issue.
Yeah.
And that-
So,
And that's where we need to move forward to in Call of Duty.
yes, that's another thing right
this
now.
Year, not
if-
this year. It can't
next
happen this year.
Next
It has
year.
to happen with the next title.
We've
Yeah.
been. All
Nah,
right.
that Activision needs to, I don't know if they told people that they flew out players or whatever that is, but they need to decide, with the top teams that get into the World League, and one player from every team form a union so that you can actually talk about shit. So we don't got to be the high schoolers of this fucking community and go on Twitter and complain about everything all day.
I
Well,
nominate Pat. Pat
well,
Price. I
well,
nominate
the,
him.
well, the kid has been trying to get owners to get together and try to work together for 2 years, and I'm like, motherfuckers is greedy. Everybody's in their own world. I know different teams are making different money, but if we're gonna last, and we're gonna eat, we have to eat together. There's major teams in each sport. There are teams that high profile teams that people like, and then there are the smaller nobodies like Cincinnati and freaking who else is out there? Seattle used to be one of those teams. But but everybody's eating off the same plate in the NFL, the NBA, the
Right.
NHL, and soon CS:GO is going to be the same way. Riot is already there.
Yeah, CS:GO is the same way already, man. The kind of
Riot
money
is
these
already
players are
there.
making, dude.
That's what I'm saying. We have to be moving toward that same faction, or it's always going to be a dog eat dog world when it comes to Call of Duty.
You
There's
know,
never going to be any structure because we as owners are not working together to organize it and pit it together. Everybody's out to see who can make the most money and be better than the next one.
the structure right now of Call of Duty, in my opinion, is garbage. I think it's awful.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, there hasn't been a structure, so
Yeah,
of
there
course
isn't
it
a
is.
structure.
There's never been a structure to Call of Duty esports. It's always been the top brands doing whatever the hell they want.
exactly.
And the one thing that gets to Theory, who's my teammate, currently living in the team house with him, is TK. We're big on YouTube. We have a lot of content. Sharp's a troll. Our owner Justin, he's a troll. And the biggest way, the nade shots, the biggest people in Call of Duty as professional players to make the money and to generate, hundreds of thousands they make a year, is entertaining. And that's what Nade saw after a while, that, he is now an entertainer. And I shouldn't have to be a fucking entertainer if I want to make 6 digits playing a video game. I want to be paid to be the best. I want to be paid to compete at a high level. These
Right.
CS players, these League of Legends players aren't paid to be entertainers. They're paid to be professionals.
You
Yep.
know where that comes from? Because all of those owners got together and decided they wanted to put something together for each team to be able to eat the same amount of vegetables every month.
Yep.
And no one in this community is doing it. My team eats good. But Optic eats better.
Yeah.
And that's the difference in where we are right now. We have
think-
what?
Well, I
we
mean,
have
yeah,
50
okay.
different organizations.
You're always gonna have the brands though that eat
Right.
better. All right,
You're
it's
gonna have the
just
Yankees of everything.
it's
I think
it's
it's
just
the
trying to elevate the smaller brands to a status to where they can actually survive within the economy that is esports.
Exactly.
So-
You wanna know why a lot of these teams are not going to Worlds? Because that crap is expensive. We're going to Worlds on a football weekend where all the prices are jacked up. You can't have ice cream right now. You got to hold on, okay?
But she's like, she heard food in the conversation. She's like, I'm gonna go
I'll
ask Daddy
get
for
you
some ice cream.
okay? Hold on. Wait, just hold on. But yeah, if that's not happening, we're going to Worlds on a football weekend. So of course all the prices are jacked up. Rooms are 20% higher than they normally would be. Travel to that airport and to that city has been raised up because it's a very expensive travel weekend for that city. So then they boosted
Bro.
passes to $400, but they
Yeah,
decided they wanted to give you $100 off. Only it wasn't because they were expensive, because the shits weren't selling. Wasn't nobody paying the price.
This is like the owner talk of Rick going off right now.
I know, I love it. That's why I wanted him on the show, man. He's willing
Dude,
to say.
I even stress out about it, as a player. Like when I place bad at an event, I'm just like, man, I'm wasting Justin's money. I was like, I don't feel good about it.
And see, that's the stigma we live with as owners. We want you guys to do well. We want you guys to succeed and be the best. We don't care when you guys place bad. Most owners, okay, we're like, okay, good. screwed up this time, we'll get them next time. You know, we want you guys to succeed, but we also want to be
To
able
make
to
money.
afford. You know, we want to be able to afford to get you there. It's not all the time about making money. Sometimes it's just about getting the brand out and growing your audience. You know, and because a lot of these smaller teams, they don't have that pleasure of growing their brand unless they come to these events. You know,
Yeah,
because they're
there's just root problems in Call of Duty, and I think in general that every time any show ever been streamed on Twitch, MLG, anyone ever talked about why COD isn't at the level of other esports, it comes down to a combined effort, and Treyarch is the only you know fucking company where it's been close to a combined effort between tournament holders, between the company that makes the game, the developers, between the organizations and players. If there's anybody that's gonna make a Call of Duty and we're all gonna have a combined effort on something and create a structure and do it right, it's gonna be Treyarch. But or even Activision in general. But bottom line is like everyone sits here and talks about like the little things like oh the game. Like I just sat here and bitched about stuns for like 5 minutes. It comes down to like there's so much more to the business side of Call of Duty that's just we need a fucking structure. Like plain and simple. Like people need a you have all these pros that are making YouTube videos that don't even want to make YouTube videos, man.
Yeah.
But they're told by their organizations and their owners and all these people that well you have to make YouTube videos if you want to make enough money to stay here and not get a real job. Like, dude, you want to know something that's completely mind blowing? You guys are
Tell
about
me,
to
man.
be
Tell me. I'm ready.
boggled. If I start streaming right now and I ask my stream how much you think I make a year, they all think I make 6 figures a year, all of them, and I'm like, wow.
Dude,
I'm like, you guys,
dude, you need to donate to my stream, bro.
bro, they think I'm making over 100K a year, and I'm like, you guys are fucking deluded if you think I'm making even close to that much money. The financial stability of any single player in Call of Duty is literally based off one tournament a year, and that's champs.
Yeah.
What's in your bank account as a COD player? 90% of your revenue or income comes to do with one tournament or tournament winnings in general. And it's just the structure needs to happen. Like Rick said, everyone needs to be working together. The organizations, the owners. We need a players union. Treyarch needs to be on deck to help us. We need to make an actual structure like Riot actually has or CS:GO actually has.
Well, I mean,
Um,
it's not Treyarch that has to be on deck
It's not
to help.
Treyarch,
It's
it's Activision.
Activision.
It's Activision, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Treyarch only has a game once every 3 years now, so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
gotta
them-
be Activision coming down on all three of its developers, and there needs to be a central esports entity that hovers above all three of those companies, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
And the other,
But- Go on.
and it's
What?
just like League of Legends, like they have that entity. Like all these successful esports, they have that entity. And like another thing is people don't give credit to CS because CS has been around for 15 years. Like everyone's like, yo, how did CS just come out of nowhere again and blow up? Like CS didn't really come out of nowhere. CS has had fans and players back in their game since fucking I was born.
CS is a fucking game that's been around for so long.
Yeah, and even Call of Duty hasn't been around for that long. So people are really ignorant when it comes to bashing
And-
CS
and-
and growth.
And
And that's why
Okay,
CS:GO
well, I mean,
audience
Call of Duty
so
is-
broad.
Yeah.
also
Yeah,
CS:GO.
I saw that
I mean,
stat you put up. That's interesting.
You see them
Counter-Strike.
stats? I got
Yeah,
some
it's
more
crazy.
stats, baby. I got some more. I got stats coming out my ass. You wouldn't even know.
The Counter-Strike community also only like fully switched over to CS:GO like really only a couple years ago. Like they were still trying to play 1.6.
Right,
And, like,
and that
the community-
and that's why CS:GO audience is so big, right? Because you got kids now that are people now that are my age that grew up playing CS:GO. You know, when we were kids, we played.
Yeah.
We didn't play Go. We played 6, 2.0, and all those
1.6,
other crap.
The source, yeah.
But now the game has evolved, but the player base and the fan base is even larger because the new generation is coming up watching it. But you got a couple of 3, 4, 5 million people that used to play the old versions of the game that are
Yeah.
now watching the new versions of the game.
Yeah, our community will
And-
get older. through
I mean,
time.
like to be, and also like to be fair, like with that community, like if you played 1.6, you're like, oh, hey, look, it's Dust. Like I know this map,
Yeah.
or it's Nuke. Like it's the same exact map. Like Call of Duty still will struggle, I think, in my opinion, every year with a new title, just because, like, if you watch, like, it's cool that like the biggest, like all the new World League stuff, like the biggest events at the end of the year, etc. Like, it makes more sense in the general timeline of how an esports title should work, because that's like, it makes no sense, like, other than like a huge publicity
It's
event to
honestly because
have
it's console
champs.
though. Like you can't sit here. I mean, until we get a Forge mode, we can't sit here and like skin maps or re-innovate maps. So like playing a new Call
I
of
mean,
Duty every year isn't the worst thing.
I mean, it's not the worst thing. I mean, like, Forge mode kept Reach alive because
Yep.
like they were able to remake like Halo, like they were able to remake like Sank and the Pit and everything.
Yeah,
But
and that's what Halo fans fucking love. Is the fact
yeah,
that they're watching like a different Halo, but they're still watching the same thing their favorite players have
same
been
maps.
playing 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, but
Like-
let's hope with the adaptation of fantasy in Call of Duty, it grows and not gets destroyed like it was when MLG made that deal with Vulcan. Like I said, was going to happen. But let's hope that it grows.
you have to sneak
Like,
that
yes.
in there. He's like I said, it would happen.
Like I said, I mean,
I said that shit was going to happen. They're going to destroy the game. When you made that deal, it was awful. Because now you make people screw with people's IP addresses so they can win money. Why would you do that?
to
Why
make
would
money.
Why would you not just make the deal with Vulcan, run their advertisement, but don't say that it's your deal? You just run their advertisement and let it go. Don't say that you partnered with Vulcan. You just run their advertisement, doing your events, doing your stuff, and just keep moving. Because now people know you're partnered with them. People already don't like you. They've been trying to take your stuff down. They've been trying to screw with this league since it started. Now you give people an even bigger reason to do the things that they've done. You know, you just don't throw gasoline on a fire and
That's
say,
what I'm
"Oh,
saying.
ain't nothing happening."
I think anything we talk about literally has to do with MLG. I think if MLG is not in the picture next year, it's not even like their fault. Like, I go with the saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. MLG hasn't done anything bad to me. Like, MLG has never done anything, crucial to my career or anything like that. But if MLG is not in the picture next year, it just that entity that we talk about, like that could be made. And right now, it literally can't be made with what we're doing right now. It's not possible.
Let's say this though, without MLG, COD wouldn't be in the state that it's in right now. COD wouldn't be in the position that it's in
not at all.
to move forward. MLG took a chance, and they did some good things and some bad. But without MLG having the cojones to do what they did,
COD esports wouldn't exist.
COD esports wouldn't exist. It's without a doubt 100% positive, proof positive. ESL, not even ESL, PGL, and even 360 Icons, they couldn't. Nobody wanted to take a chance on COD esports like MLG.
Yeah, and MLG did.
UMG took a chance on COD esports.
UMG did not take a chance on COD esports. UMG fell in the lap. They didn't take a chance. They fell in the lap. They created something they created a second something that the people were wanting. That they were in a position that
MW3.
they jumped in a growing community.
Yeah, nah,
where no one else was doing anything.
Yeah, but UMG did run the only tournaments in MW3.
Yeah, they jumped in when MLG backed out.
Yeah, so they kept it alive a little bit.
They took a chance on it for MW3, and then MLG decided to jump back in for Black Ops 2. So, I mean, we can talk about this all night, but I want to talk about the transition from Xbox back to PlayStation, because for Black Ops 1, we made that transition from Xbox to PlayStation, and now it seems like we're making that transition again. I mean, what do you love it?
Love it, dude. I like that word. Use entity. I'm gonna use that word a lot. But Sony. I wasn't around in Black Ops 1, but Sony seems to know their shit a little bit, and they they work with us.
System.
What?
PS3 was an awful system.
Yeah.
Compared to 360.
And you want to know something crazy about the Xbox One? The Xbox One killed a lot of YouTubers, and you saw the Call of Duty YouTubers that came up. These huge YouTubers, the massive YouTubers that are making COD videos. They're making other game videos now. They all started with Call of Duty. Like a lot of them started commentating over Call of Duty, and why that doesn't happen as much anymore? Because you can't even talk in game and record properly on an Xbox One. Like it's a difficult process.
That's actually changed. That's
Yeah.
actually changed. Well, because like if not many people know about this. Like I didn't even know about this till someone I was playing Destiny with brought it up. But if you guys have Windows 10, the Xbox app that you download
That's
on,
right.
you can use that as your party chat for the Xbox One. So
I'm
like
about to tell Justin that because Justin
so
really
you
cut his
can
pants.
use that and you can actually stream and record and it plays through your speakers. So that's the workaround for it now. But yeah, I think that's relatively new. It wasn't out on launch, but yeah, you can do that to record
Yeah, that's
and stuff like
actually
that.
just a couple of weeks old. They
Yeah,
they redone it, but
yeah.
it was a good addition.
But yeah, no, going back to I like the PlayStation controller. I like the console. The game runs smoother. And
Bring up the point though. You're talking about like not like the game killing like the S&D community, whatever. Like, don't you think switching consoles is gonna hurt
bro, there
all
ain't
the
no S&D community. There ain't no S&D
no, no,
community
no,
right
no,
now
no, no,
anyway.
not S&D community in general. I'm just saying the player base, like switching because like now you're gonna have
Oh,
to go out.
Dude, there's no
Oh,
player
because
base
it's
in
there
Advanced
is no
Warfare right
there's
now,
no
so
there's no player base right now anyway.
No,
Even online, like I told you, like the general people that go to these events, buy team passes, and place last place at events is drastically gone down. Whether it's on fucking Xbox anyway, so might as well start
the
something new. Like this,
the way this thing needs to go, what with this switching over and them doing the COD World League. Now, how many teams did they say it was going to be? 12, Neslo?
12.
yeah, 12,
Which
10, 8, right?
which it should be like
yeah.
Or
16.
6, 6 for whatever the last one is. Yeah.
Should be like 16 because that's how many decent teams that we have that has been through all of AW
Yeah,
and Ghost, and all of those teams should be included because these guys, and those are 16 top teams that are always in the top 20.
top 16. Like if you're a pro player, like I've had a lot of placings outside of top 8 this year, so it's like poof, those are bad placings. But if I ever place outside of top 16, I'd be contemplating. Like
Yeah,
I'd be depressed.
that would be kind of bad. But we do have 16 teams that constantly place in those markets, in those 16 places. And
Yeah.
those instead of having the tournament and saying we're going to take 12 of the best teams, because those it's 4 or 5 that are going to be there, but those other 8 or 7, they're going to be random.
Like, you don't see the CS:GO community thriving off the hundreds of teams attending their tournaments.
Right.
Same with League of Legends. It's the best of the best. It has to do with the level of being a professional player, and it's so
Yeah.
low in Call of Duty that that's gonna change. Like, you shouldn't be sitting there as a tournament holder of these websites thinking about like your fucking attendance and how much money you're making off just team passes. Like, that's something that I don't really care about as a player, and I don't think we're gonna lose like that many teams, that many players switching over to PS4. And like he said, like all the top teams are still gonna be playing.
Yeah, all the
So
top teams are still going to play.
so what's gonna change? Nothing.
All the top teams, all the top players, and everybody that went to champs automatically got PS.
People don't
What
realize
does
how
that take?
dead AW is right now. Like it's dead.
Well, I think the best thing about the World League is the increase in the prize money. I mean, they jumped it up to $3 million they're investing in the prize pools over the year. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Obviously there's no information on that yet, but that's a good jump up in prize pools because there's actually a direct relation between the increase of viewership and the increase of prize pools, which I have an infographic on that I can show you in a little bit. But there's actually
infographics.
there's actually a direct correlation between that. So the addition of the money and with Activision stepping into a bigger role and adding prestige of this regional world league to where there is only a certain amount of teams that can play in it, and with there being a tournament at the end of this year to get into that league, I think it's going to add more to it because now players are going to want to play at home and scrim and do all that stuff. They're going to play in the amateur tournaments that UMG is going to be putting on possibly or someone like that. I don't know because UMG's always done stuff for the amateur community.
And guess what?
So they're going to be striving towards something, and then it's going to also get people more engaged and wanting to watch these tournaments because these are the players that you're watching to try to get up to just as good as stuff like that. I mean, it's adding. I mean, people hate to compare sports with esports, but everybody's doing it right now, so just get used to it. Everyone's doing it. Anybody coming in looking at esports, they're comparing it to sports
It
nowadays
says fucking
because
sport in the goddamn title,
yeah,
bro.
but they're comparing it to sports nowadays because they want to see the potential for esports and the potential
there.
for it.
The
It is
numbers
there.
are there.
The numbers are there, so that's what they're doing. I
Better
mean,
than the NHL, bro.
right? Well, yeah. Right now, the main comparison is esports with the NHL. So I mean, but that's esports as a whole. So I mean, Call of Duty is just a portion of that. So I mean, the big players are obviously League of Legends, Dota, and Counter Strike, right?
And, like,
That's
look-
what they're all talking about. But Call of Duty needs to get a piece of that pie. So that's essentially why we're here. Talking
And then
about
they
what the hell's
make
going on.
this league, right? And they make this league. This is something also that MLG really didn't think about, and it doesn't work. The fact they make this league, yo. Guess what? We go to Twitch. They're gonna hit up Twitch. I want a fucking ad on your website talking about the playoffs of this league. That's gonna be for like 500K.
Yeah.
Boom. Viewership is skyrocketed. And people don't understand, dude. Ghost was the most boring Call of Duty to watch, right? Everyone says Ghost was garbage. It was awful to watch. It was slow. Who wanted to watch domination when a team was destroying? No one did. Then how the fuck is it getting twice the amount of viewership that AW gets? Where the game is 20 times faster.
Where
The game
was
is 20
Ghost?
times more exciting.
Where was Ghost broadcast?
Ghost was on Twitch still, I believe.
No, Ghost on MLG.
Was it? Was that
Yeah.
when I
It
don't
was
even
so split.
The second half of Ghost was on MLG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
it
half
was split.
was on Twitch, and it was off the day.
It was like that's what I'm saying about Twitch, like the advertising and the publicity. Like we need to add structure and we need to start focusing on the things that matter. Like for CS, these players are idolized and they're they have the fan base and they have the scene's growth and all these people attending their events is because winning matters. Winning is so fucking important in these other esports. Apparently winning ain't even that big of a deal, bro, because I just saw these guys win 100K apiece and no one gave a fuck. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, the scene grew when Optic was losing in Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, when Optic and Envy were struggling for a good portion of Black Ops 2, that's when you saw some real growth in the scene.
yeah.
Well, complexity.
And that game was also really, really good.
It was competitive. It was
Black
it's
Ops 2 was
exciting.
great.
Like, wait, do you think it was more Optic and Envy losing than complexity being?
No, because Impact was winning in general. It was just the fact that
It was
Optic and Envy.
all of it.
Yeah, it
all
was
of it.
everything, man. It was like
Optic and
everything.
Envy struggling, Impact winning.
Envy and Optic weren't really
Cold-
struggling when Impact was winning.
Cold being dominant, and the game was good. It was easy to watch. It was easy to understand. It was easy to pick up and play.
Right, obviously.
And then not only that, you had different things going on outside of the game. That's when ESWC was getting in the game,
Yeah.
and the French audience is nuts, and those guys over there became a little bit more enthused in what we were doing.
Think about it like this, dude.
All
Well,
that shit
as far-
came together in one pot.
Winning needs to matter to the point where, all right, you have a 12-team league. I want to be able to say that 8 to 10 of those teams can go into that tournament, that playoff, and have an opportunity to actually win the event. We don't have that in Call of Duty right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Todd actually in the Twitter stream, he asked a good question that I didn't even think about. So, what's everyone's thoughts on an org like Optic having potentially 2 teams in the World League? Like,
Bad
is
idea.
that?
Get rid of
I mean, that
Bad
can't
idea.
happen.
Bad idea.
Bad idea. I've
There's no
said
way.
that from day
They,
one.
they shouldn't
But-
be able to control anything. They shouldn't be able to have 2 teams in the league.
It's like it was the smartest thing Riot did when they stopped allowing organizations to have 2 teams in LCS or in like if you so League of Legends, right? Last year, the best teams were the Korean teams, and because like just bar none, like Samsung organization had the 2 teams and they just stacked all the best players on the best team no matter what.
Right.
After Worlds 2014, they said that organizations can't own more than 2 teams in their league. So basically what happened was you had more than pretty much 2/3 of those players, especially from the championship winning team, Samsung White, travel to like China and to other regions, and all of a sudden the Chinese region became one of the best regions in League of Legends. And then you had, NALCS, like teams like Evil Geniuses, who owned like Winter Fox and like Alliance. It's like you can't it makes it so much better because it eliminates like colluding. Like we haven't had colluding or throwing matches in Call of Duty.
Oh no. Oh no.
Really? I don't honestly.
I'm just playing.
There's no way. The egos of these Call of Duty players,
Yeah,
they would
there's no
not
way.
throw a match.
Nobody's throwing matches in this league, dog. All these guys,
We all
all
hate
these
each
guys
other,
hate
dude.
to lose. They hate to lose. So that's I don't think that would ever happen. Because
Right, but
everybody
it eliminates it.
Any
Right.
ego can be bought for the right price. All right, let's just
right, but there's only one big pot.
Right. You give me
You can't
100K
put
to throw a
one-
match, I'll win.
Yeah, right.
I'll just split. I'll give 5 to Brandon. I'll give 5 to Dylan. Like, bro, this is what's happening.
Well, there is, esports betting is becoming a big thing now. So.
Basically, like if, like just by having players play for different organizations, it grows the scene a lot, and it's like remember, what was it, Ghost Season 2, where it was like FaZe Black, FaZe Red,
Oh my
OG,
god.
OLED,
FaZe
Curse
Pink,
Orange,
FaZe
Curse
Yellow.
Orange, Curse
We're going back
Curse
to the
Orange,
same-
Curse
Curse
Black.
had 3 teams.
We're talking about
Curse had
tops
4
that
teams.
have- we're
Oh,
talking
they had a
about-
female team too, didn't they? I think
Talking
they
about
had
this,
everything.
Australia.
Oh,
about
they
the
did have the
same
Australian
stuff I've
team.
been talking about for the past 3 years, and how literally there is no COD community. It's just an Optic and FaZe community, or just even an Optic community.
Dude,
Just-
honestly, I said this when, because I stepped away from esports for a year. Like, I was barely on Twitter. All I did was talk to like a couple of close friends from the community during that time. And when I came back and all right, Max, yeah, you weren't among them. It's okay, buddy.
Yeah, me blocked, Max. Don't feel bad.
Bro, the headline of champs wasn't Denial winning.
But-
The headline
but
of
no.
champs was Optic losing.
Well, yeah, but no, when I came back, I literally saw like nothing change. Like a year went by and literally nothing had
Yeah,
changed
it's-
within the
it's-
dynamics of the Call of Duty
Well,
community.
There's still no structure.
No, you got to look at it though. There's nothing wrong with that headline because
Yeah.
if Tom Brady would have lost the Super Bowl, that would have been the headline. Brady loses.
Yeah, the head, no, 100%.
When
I
you're
always
the
agree.
most, when you're the most popular kid in the game, you're gonna be the headline every time, no matter if you win or lose. So
Right. What the headline? The headline.
LeBron James.
The headline
Exactly.
wasn't Eli. The headline wasn't Eli wins the Super Bowl. The headline was 18-1. Like Patriots lost.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that headline.
I'm a Jets fan too.
It's just
Fuck
in
the Jets.
general, bro. Like at a fucking LAN tournament, let's say we get a finals going where Optic ain't in the finals, dude. There's 5 people in the fucking stands, man. It's awful. Like it's nobody's fault, but it's fucking ridiculous, dude. That's what I'm saying about like Black Ops 2 and when they were struggling. Like, bro, if Optic loses or is no longer in the tournament or playing, the seats are empty. And when I'm saying they're empty, there's literally no one watching.
That is the meaning of empty. Yes.
And it's fucking it's
When I
it's
say empty, I mean
Bro.
empty.
bro, it's depressing, dude. It's really depressing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've witnessed it myself. So, actually,
I-
the best event I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of them, was MLG Anaheim,
It's the best, dude. It's always
2014 or 2013?
2013. I wasn't dealing.
Oh,
2013.
the one you got kicked out of.
Yeah, the one I got kicked out of at the end. Yeah, that one was the best event I've ever been to. The fans were nuts. The seats were filled. There were people standing all the way in the back. Like the place was packed to watch Call of Duty.
Yo, guess who wasn't playing?
Yeah, it was Complexity
Anaheim was Complexity Impact.
Yeah, Complexity Impact. Yep.
Yep.
That was an awesome event until I got kicked out. But yeah, that's in the past now.
Yeah, I'm not putting you on my VIP list no more, dude.
Dude, have you
Let's
heard the
drink- let's
story?
drink.
Have you heard the story? Honestly,
Yes.
like why I got you've heard the story. Like, come on, man, that was bullshit. Why I got kicked out? I ain't gonna let no rent-a-cop tell me I can't just walk on a chair to get around someone. But anyways, so, well,
Had to get that interview though.
back to Paul
I
Sony.
was trying to get an interview, man. I had to get the interview. It's my job. But so we're coming close to the end of the show, guys. We've been on for about an hour and 20 minutes now. I'm gonna go to the audience now. If you guys have any last-minute questions for us, please.
There was one question I saw before that I wanted to bring up because let's see if I can find it. I want to say his name. I don't want to give him credit. He was talking about basically big organizations like TSM or C9 coming into COD
It's a great topic.
And,
Not gonna happen until we get some structure.
Well, I mean,
Like, yeah,
big
like-
organizations have tried before and they left very quick.
Yeah,
It's not
because
gonna
Twitch-
happen until we get structure. No, it's not gonna happen
I,
without.
I guarantee you, we see top organizations in esports come into Black Ops 3.
I mean,
there will
here's
be structure.
like it was like, do you think it'll grow like in terms of Halo? Like Cloud9 and all those teams going to Halo, that didn't do shit for that game. That game was dead as fuck.
That
It's not
game is
gonna grow
still
the
dead as hell.
Like, I love TSM, bro. If you tell me I'm playing on TSM, whew, that's like saying like Envy and the whole CS:GO thing and how a lot of people don't really support it. It has to do with the players' brands, not even the team's brand, man. And there's so many roster changes. There's no such thing as a fucking team brand anymore.
That's
Like,
why I mean,
you gotta understand that. Like, you have these brands of players, the CLGs, the TSMs, because they've had the same players, like with the exception of one or two, have been playing together for years or a really long time. Like, look at, like I said, that Envy team's a perfect example. You wonder why they don't have a lot of like COD fans right now, and it's because, I mean, look at the players. They're all up and comers for the most part, with the exception of JCap, and they don't have the brands that other players hold that have been around in the scene for like 3 or 4 years. So when you look at COD, one of the main reasons why the whole organization thing throws people off with the whole Optic and facing, and like, oh, does Optic make Nadeshot or does Nadeshot make Optic, is the fact, not loyalty, but just growing together and having some structure. Because at the end of the day, people, it must be really hard to follow COD, bro. It must be hard. It must be to say I'm gonna be a Justice fan, or I'm gonna be what other organizations that are on Optic and FaZe, or an Envy fan, because they have whole new rosters 3 months down the fucking
so
line.
how hard do you think it's for me, dude? I gotta write roster mania scripts and stuff for ESR. Like, it's so
Just
fucking
like
confusing.
it was just like being a LeBron fan when he left Cleveland. Nobody's a Cavalier fan. We can
Oh yeah,
spread-
there aren't Cleveland Cavalier fans. Like
No. Everybody was a
Fliz, like
LeBron
you're not a
fan.
Cavs fan, dude. You're a
And
LeBron fan.
when LeBron left, so did his fans. That building wasn't full anymore until he came back.
They went 0-26, didn't they? Only 1 year.
I think player brands really revolve around COD esports a lot more than team brands and organization brands. And I don't know.
Well, I mean, but that's rooted from the beginning of Call of Duty. So
Right. That's any sport though. That's
Yeah.
just like
Like
Pittsburgh
yeah.
fans are in love with Roethlisberger.
No, I mean,
Roethlisberger fans are Roethlisberger.
So if you think like this,
that's
if
why those
TSM
teams invest into their
I'm
players.
trying
Like
to say
that's
to your
why they
question-
get paid so much.
Exactly.
I think the Yankees paid the shit out of Derek Jeter, dog. They didn't. Why? Because he was a brand himself, and they wanted that brand to stay
Exactly.
right there in New York. They didn't
Exactly.
want that brand to move.
You-
He was
you
brought
always
in there,
exceptions.
and he didn't leave.
you always had those players though that like transcend team, like fan bases. Like like
this
Nate
is
Shot.
what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, if TSM offered me a fucking spot for Black Ops 3 and I made a team for TSM, and I expect to go to an event and have a fucking 1,000 fans wearing TSM jerseys, I'm delusional. But if Nadeshot were to go to TSM and make a TSM team, then
Nate Shot would have
Phew,
a million
TSM Nate
motherfuckers
Shot
wearing
confirmed?
TSM jersey.
exactly. So
I'm already wearing a
Right.
TSM jacket right now. So
Same with Formal, same with Scump, same with Clay,
Yeah.
same with Enable, same with you, Neslo. You got a shit ton of fans. You just ugly as hell. You got a shit
Damn!
Same-
Holy
a lot,
shit!
A lot of you guys have super duper fan bases, and they love the shit out of you. They will go to bat for you. They will fight for you guys,
Apparently, even if you're ugly.
even if you're ugly.
it's
They
not what his
will.
wife, bro.
I'm telling you, dog. They will do it. But and they follow you guys from team to team. When Neslo was on my team, his fans came and they supported and they did everything. They was Neslo this, Justice that, and the day he left, them motherfuckers went with him. And that's the
They were like-
same with a lot of other teams. When Enable was on my team, I had a lot of fans. They were all Enable's fans, but they became Justice fans because Enable was on the team. And when he went to FaZe, they went to FaZe with him.
I
And
think all
that's
these
the way it works.
yeah,
I could
exactly.
see- I could see, depending on how they relegate the league, like let's say how you get into the World League or where Black Ops 3 goes, I could see the Cloud9s, TSMs dipping into this finally. Like if it
I
does
don't
get
think
some
so.
structure,
No, those teams won't come in until they see the first year of the league. They're
I
gonna
don't
want. They're gonna want to see the first
I mean,
year,
yeah,
see
they
how
jumped.
everything
They
goes.
jumped into MCC, which was really weird.
One
They
of the-
jumped
yeah,
head-
one of the-
Get 'em
No,
off.
that was totally that's
they jumped into a dead community.
Dude, I don't even know what happened with that. That
You
boggled
want to
me.
know why they jumped in? Because those
Twitch.
prize pools. No, they announced those prize pools
Where
before
do you
they
think those
announced
prizes came,
anything
bro?
else.
Twitch, bro. I'm telling you, the fact if we go to Twitch and all this happens,
It,
I can see companies
a
really.
lot of things have to do with Twitch too, because you have teams that are sponsored by Twitch.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. I could see it happening.
I don't
Like,
know. No, I
I mean,
don't see
like
it.
the EG thing is
Dude,
like
the
the EG thing's a
Call of
poor
Duty is a
example.
wild card, okay? It's just a wild card.
Right.
At least with Halo, Halo had some structure there for a while. They got, I mean, Halo was a pretty big deal for a long
Until they
time.
released a fucking game that was
Here's the thing,
broken.
though. Here's the thing,
Till
right?
MLG got greedy.
Like, here's the thing. You have Optic, right? Like this. What is it? Andy Wolf. Good question. So he says, does COD have the player base for TSM to come in? Like, do you think TSM would pick up a team? Is there a
Player-based? What
team
you
right
mean?
now?
We have more followers than they do.
No, player base in terms of like going out and winning a tournament. Like, do you think they could pick up a team like other than Do you think
Yes.
honestly, if
you
you're a
can
team,
buy. You can
Bro,
buy
do you know how
anybody.
much
no,
they're paying their players, bro?
if you're no,
How
I'm
much,
saying
bro? Tell me,
you can,
bro. I want to
hold on.
know.
You
What?
can't if you can't buy Optic or FaZe right now. These two rosters. What team are you gonna buy to beat them?
It depends. A brand new Call of Duty is gonna come out, man. Every Call of Duty,
I don't
different
think those
teams
two
run
rosters are going to
tournaments.
be as dominant as they are in the
Yeah,
next game.
that's what I'm
You don't
saying.
think
Like
you don't think
this
Crim,
year,
Formal, Scump, and Karma gonna be a dominant team in Black Ops 2? You crazy?
I
they ain't
don't
gonna be
think they're going
auto
to be
dub.
Yeah,
as
you're a little
dominant
crazy.
as
You're a little
they
crazy,
are
honestly.
You're a little
in this.
crazy.
You guys are deluded if you think they literally just have the best players in the world and they're gonna win for the next 3 years.
I
That
don't
is the
think
most
that.
delusional
I
stuff
don't
Well,
in the
think
I
world.
didn't say
that.
that at all.
But
I
they are
study
still
this
going to
game.
be.
Study this game a whole lot. Those guys are going to be good. There's no
Yeah, they're
doubt
gonna be
about that.
fucking amazing, but they're not gonna be
No
winning
way they're going
12
to
out
be
of
as
14
dominant as they
tournaments.
are.
I mean, you're
No.
also losing half the players that are really good right now because of the age limit. Like TJ can't play, who can't play.
We're only missing 3 pros. It's TJ Hugh and Temp. Other than that,
Oh,
you're missing
dude,
half the players in general. Yeah,
Like who?
if Kenny and fucking Envoy could play, oh my god.
because they're good.
That
Oh,
Elevate team is going to be really fucking good at MLG finals.
But yeah, no, they are. But just in general, like the new game comes out, there's always a new champion. There's always like a new team on top. I'll be fair. There's EG players are usually winning, like from the complexity days. Those I brought it up. Like those players all split up, and they kind of taught like people how to win. It was crazy. Like Ace went to FaZe, they won an event. Crim went to Optic, they're starting to win, and T
They're
went to ON. That didn't really
Crim
work out.
Optics starting to win.
Yo, I mean,
Right.
like if you think about it, back to like the AW Open, like Optic Nation, Optic was supposed to have like the top two teams at that event. It was like T Proof, Karma, and Bose,
They're both, yeah.
and then fucking obviously OG with Nade,
Yeah.
Scump, Crim, and Formal.
I
But
think
I'll
everything's gonna change, man. I really don't think
Only
like
time will tell. But I do want to wrap this up. It's been an hour and a half. I tried not to keep my shows too long, although, sometimes they go pretty long. I've had like 3-hour shows before because I just couldn't stop the entertainment. But if there are any last minute questions, I'll answer.
Wings of Redemption.
We'll answer. Yeah, right. That show was nuts. Dude, that show was insane. The Wings of
What?
Redemption, Woody, and who was the other one that came on? I don't know, dude. That was crazy. I don't even know how I got him on the show. But yeah, if there are any last minute questions, go ahead and just post them in the chat real quick instead of the Twitter feed so I can look at them real quick for any of us in here. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. I do want to mention before I end the show, I'm starting a new segment, guys. I'm calling it COD Sense. So essentially the idea of this segment is that I, myself, Max will be looking for it. It's really for all of you guys. I've always, been pretty open about saying a lot of the shit said in the COD community is just straight out stupid. So if you see something on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, anything, any social media that you think is just retarded or out of hand, just out of line, hashtag the TheWRant into it, and each week I'm going to take all of those posts that I get and we're going to talk about them for about 15-20 minutes at the beginning of each show. So it's going to be my personal opinion on them, Max's personal opinion on them if he wants to give them. I'm not going to force him to. And also, if the guests want to give an opinion on it too, they can. It could even one of the guests could even be on the CODSense thing. But I'm going to spotlight stupidity. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So if you see something stupid, just tag hashtag the TheWRant, and we're going to have some fun with that each week. But as far as that, did the storylines in Ghost help viewership? I don't even remember what happened in Ghost, so clearly
Does anybody, hold on, that's another question. Does anybody even play the campaign nowadays?
No, he's talking about storylines.
Headlines, like esports storylines.
But honestly, no one really plays
campaign storylines. What are you talking about?
Nobody plays that shit. Everybody goes straight to multiplayer.
Some people, you know, I play the campaigns. I mean, why not? They're there.
You're just at home bored. It's raining.
Yeah, right? I mean, if I got some time to kill, I'm bored, I don't feel like dealing with freaking pub kids, I'll freaking hit the campaign for a little bit.
But you know what? You know what would be the killer? Same thing, same way CSGO is. They cut the campaign out of the multiplayer, there wouldn't be an online rating.
What? I mean, storylines and Ghost.
But we would still need an age restriction.
No, why?
Why? Honestly, we can't have 12-year-olds going to events across the world.
Age restriction because there's an age restriction on the game. That's it. If they cut the damn regular crap out the campaign.
Honestly, okay. This is no. This is my opinion on the whole situation. So, where esports is right now, it needs to be 18 plus so that, one, they're old enough to understand what they're getting themselves into, and two, they're old enough to legally sign a contract without parental consent. Because if we start getting young kids into this and they get screwed over by many of the people that screw people over all the time in this bullshit, then we're going to have parents coming down, and then we're going to have more shit, and it's just going to set us back further.
You made my son do this when
So the whole thing with gaming is we're trying to make it a social norm that people will want to tune into and not feel like they're a nerd or a social pariah or something like that, because esports is not a social norm yet. It's not a norm yet. I mean, still parents, even telling my parents I was starting the show back up, they're like, why in the fuck are you doing that?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm telling you, like, it's like, why are you doing that?
Because I'm in school getting a degree. Because I'm intelligent and I love this shit.
Jared, I want to get, I guess, all three of your opinion, Neslo and Snacks. What do you think of the whole Colin Cowherd thing now that he's fucking coming back at esports?
Oh man, don't nobody.
I told if you see a famous person and you don't like them because like they fucking shit the bed in a movie, like an actor or something like that, you would still walk up to him on the sidewalk and be like, "Yo, holy fuck, that's Tom Cruise. Yo, can I have your autograph?" If I saw that fool on the sidewalk, I tell him to suck a dick. Plain and simple. He's ignorant at his fucking best, and he has no idea what he's talking about.
Colin Cowherd is not ignorant. He's just doing what he's always done. He's trying to
be fucking ignorant.
Controversial shot.
Being ignorant.
he's just following what's his name? David Stern, Howard Stern,
and Fox should make him cast an esports event when the shit blows up.
He's trying to be a shock jock, and right now it doesn't work for him. You know, he's trying to be that controversial guy that says this isn't good, you shouldn't do this. He's been doing it for years on his damn radio show and on ESPN. And he's gotten away with it. And ESPN finally got tired of it. That's why he's off of there. You know.
I mean, ESPN hates opinionated people anyway. Bill Simmons. I mean, like Keith Olbermann. But like the thing that pisses me off the most, like I have a degree in journalism. And I fucking work in the field. I fucking hate when he's like reporting on a story, he's using a clip from Evo
with using stereotypes.
Yeah, and like.
That's three. No, that clip was like 3 years old.
No, that was from this past Evo. It was like a Guilty Gear match where like the guy had won the round, and then he got up to celebrate, but then he lost because the match wasn't over.
Yeah, I saw that clip.
So like, and then he's fucking like saying like League of Legends, like he says the word League of Legends, and then he'll show that. It's like, you know, like it's so fucking aggravating.
He literally just talked about nerd stereotypes and how we're fucking virgins and we're fat as fuck and we sit in our mom's basement and play video games all day.
It was just an idiot, man. He's a
I'm a virgin. I'm ugly. I'm out of shape. I eat like shit. Yeah, that's me, bro.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, he's just an
I
arrogant.
love the stereotypes.
He's trying to be the new millennium of freaking Howard Stern, dude. That shit doesn't work anymore. Shock jock radio is done. Nobody cares. Nothing is shocking.
You can go to like satellite radio and still do that though.
Yeah, and that's where exactly that's where Howard Stern
is. Yeah,
exactly. But nobody cares anymore because nothing that happens nowadays is not that unbelievable anymore. You know, in this day and age, anything is freaking possible. Anything works. You can pretty much do whatever you want, and people don't care.
Pretty much. But Max, I have a question from you from the chat real quick. Do you have a journalism degree?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. No, I mean it's stupid. Like that, it's extremely frustrating. And like
there's some dumb people in this community, but there's a lot of educated people in the community as well, making a lot of money.
Throwing, yeah, like I mean, I'd love to have him sit down, talk to like Doug. Like, just be like that would probably blow his mind. He'd be like, "Wait, you're a gamer? You play video games?
You're a champion. You're a champion. You're fucking sponsored by Gymshark. You're a gym guy. You're an athlete. You went to Mexico, found a fucking model. Like, dude, seriously, if he sat down with Doug, like everything he said on the past like 5 segments of esports, bro, literally is proven wrong.
Doug is winning life right now.
He's winning everything, bro.
Y'all didn't see that tweet when I first started tweeting about Doug and all that was going on?
No.
Oh my God! Shh. Chill, y'all. Stop. It was like all of you guys. It was serious because all of those guys were dogging Doug because Doug wasn't on a team. You know, FaZe Black didn't work. All that stuff went completely wrong for Doug, and Doug decided, hell, I'm going to Mexico and meet this girl. You know, and people were on Doug's dick. You know, you're not gonna make it. You're just going over there. You're gonna fail.
Hold on.
The next day.
You said FaZe Black. Yo, Neslo, didn't you played FaZe Black at Champs, didn't you?
Yeah, I beat him.
Yo, that's crazy. You are pretty much the reason why Doug met Yannette.
Damn.
Bro, I'm tweeting it out right now.
You started the chain reaction.
I am fucking dude, I'm responsible for making Matthew Piper. Dude, I created Formal.
How did you create Formal?
Because he was on Fear and no one knew who he was other than the Halo community, and I said, yo, I watched the Halo montage and said, yo, let's bring this homie to TK.
Formal.
And then fucking Matthew Piper, boom.
He was on Fear. That's crazy.
All right. Well, we're getting off topic here. We've just kind of offshoot to talk about Doug Sensor for some reason. Martin, which, you know,
Doug is the shit. I threw it out.
But guys,
y'all want to be Doug right now.
No, honestly, I'm perfectly fine. I love myself personally. I'm perfectly fine being myself. I don't wish to be
you're
Doug.
fine being yourself.
Yeah.
All those haters of Doug wanted to be Doug when him and Yannette was chilling.
Dude, she's not the only hot chick on the planet, okay?
I know. My wife is fine as shit.
Well, then what the fuck you saying? Anyways, guys, thank you for coming on the show. Neslo, thanks for coming on. Last minute, bro. Really appreciate that. Big Snacks, always a pleasure. Always love hearing your voice. Max, you're forced to come on, so I have nothing to say to you.
Yep.
But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning into the first show back. We'll be here every Saturday from now on at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. So tune in each week for it. Don't forget about the CODSense thing. If you see something stupid, tag hashtag TheWRant, and I will freaking put it on the show, and you will hear some funny shit, guaranteed. But anyways, guys, thanks for